Now on 767 News, bill to change the name Carib Reserve to Kalinago Territory approved by Parliament. Amended National Parks and Protected Areas Act to facilitate construction of luxury hotel. Police search for missing Grand Bay woman. And in sports, National Table Tennis Championship to begin this week. Welcome to a new week of 767 News, Dominica's #1 news source. I am Tanya Green, sitting in for Elisa George. Stay with me as I bring you the details of these and other stories coming up right after the break.
Count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash. For every $9 spent on Big 4, you get a raffle ticket to enter our weekly draws to win $4,000 cash every Thursday for 6 weeks. The more you spend, the more tickets you get, the better your chances of winning every Thursday. That's $24,000 in cash. So play Big 4, count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash. Only from the Dominica National Lottery. Promotion starts from February 24th to April 2nd.
Some call it money transfer. We call it helping him hit his first ever six. MoneyGram, bringing you closer.
Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. A bill for an act to amend the Carib Reserve Act, Chapter 2590, first passed in 1978, was approved by Parliament following the first session of the first meeting of the 9th Parliament under the Constitution of Dominica. Last Friday evening, all members of Parliament, including the opposition United Workers' Party, voted in favor of the name change from Carib Reserve to Kalinago Territory. Kalinago Affairs Minister Honorable Cassius Daru, who brought the amendment to Parliament, presented a strong case to win over the parliamentarians. According to the minister, the word Carib is derived from cannibal, deeply rooted in colonial times, to hold upper ground to oppress the Kalinago people. The same people, he added, who assisted in freeing the Africans brought to Dominica from the colonizers. Their contribution to the turn of Dominica's history, he believes, needs to be documented correctly.
The word Carib, from the time of the arrival of Columbus, for my people has been littered with degrading connotations, one of oppression, which is a reminder that history has failed to recognize the sacrifices of my people and the appreciation of us as the first settlers of the land. This does not foster any sense of ethnic pride among the indigenous peoples.
The request for the name change is in an effort to bring some measure of correction to the historical wrongs directed at the indigenous people of Dominica, the minister added.
The change of name will confirm that this is the name that my ancestors referred to our tribe as referenced by historic records throughout the centuries. It will also ensure the greater classification of self-identity and provide a basis for rewriting of Kalinago history. It will also foster greater respect for the Kalinago people at a global level. It will also create a better sense of communal pride and interest in our history and cultural heritage. Madam Speaker, the name change will represent the image of the Kalinago people in a more affirmative way to reflect a better indigenous identity, to dispel the historic negative connotations linked with the word Carib.
According to the minister, the name change will also conform to the ongoing works of academic research and discussion in academia. The Kalinago Affairs Minister said the change from Carib to Kalinago will additionally assist in portraying the indigenous people of Dominica as a good, loving, and peaceful people amid their struggle in the global pool of dynamic new opportunities. And a bill for an act to amend the National Parks and Protected Areas Act, Chapter 42(2), was passed in the House of Assembly during the first Parliament meeting following the 2014 general elections. 19 members of Parliament ruled in favor of the change, 7 ruled against, while 2 members chose to abstain. Minister for Agriculture and Fisheries, Honourable Johnson Drygo, who presented the bill to Parliament, said the amendment will significantly facilitate the construction of a luxury hotel in Douglas Bay, Portsmouth.
The resort is associated with the Kempinski Hotel, world-famous chain of hotels, which now boasts of 73 five-star hotels in 30 countries in different parts of the world. The Kempinski Hotel Dominica will be a 101-room hotel located on 15 acres of land in Douglas Bay in the Cabris area, close to the town of Portsmouth, and is estimated at US $100 million.
The agreement for the construction of the hotel, approved under Dominica Citizenship by Investment Program, was signed on November 7, 2014 between the Government of Dominica and Range Capital Partners Dominica Limited. Final plans for the construction of the hotel are expected to be presented to the Physical Planning Division for approval as soon as March 6, 2015. However, Minister Drygo pointed out that in order to facilitate construction of the new hotel, the National Parks and Protected Areas Act must be amended.
In order to accommodate this major development, which has tremendous potential for employment, reduction of poverty, enhancement of the town of Portsmouth and surrounding communities, and benefit to the socio-economic development of Dominica in general, it was necessary to include part of the Cabris National Park. To facilitate the process, Section 4(2)(b) of the National Park and Protective Area Act, Chapter 4202, had to be amended.
Minister Drygo reminded parliamentarians that the Cabris area had been identified for tourism development since the 1970s. But opposition Senator Isaac Baptist opposed the amendment, stating that environmental issues were not part of the agenda at that time.
The Honourable Minister referred to the Shanklin and Cox report and stating that this report proposed the use of the Cabris area for tourism. Madam Speaker, the Shanklin and Cox report was prepared in 1972. This is almost 40+ years ago. At that time, environmental issues were not on the agenda internationally. So therefore, the issues that Shanklin and Cox looked at are not the same issues that we are dealing here today, Madam Speaker.
However, Minister Drygo assured Parliament that based on surveys and environmental impact assessments conducted, no significant environmental impact would result from the proposed project. The bill was read and passed accordingly. This amendment gives the President of Dominica the power by order to alter the description of any park therein by varying the boundaries of the park or by including therein a description of any designated area as a national park. This means, in effect, that the minister responsible for national parks can reduce the extent of any national park by an SRO, since the power of the president is in respect can only be exercised on the advice of the minister. In other news, manager of the multi-purpose park houses, Bristol Lawrence, says more effort is needed by all stakeholders to reduce the instances of post-harvest losses on the island. In an interview with 767 News on Friday, during a one-day workshop on post-harvest, Lawrence said identifying the critical loss points in post-harvest is critical in curbing losses.
So whether it's be at the stage of handling, or it's at transportation, or it's at packing, and to identify the percentage or the variation as to the severity of the losses at each stage. And then we can put in place a plan of action to address those losses. Monitoring would be a more long-term part of this plan, but we believe critically finding out the areas where the losses are happening, documenting it, having the exact percentage, and looking to address this situation.
He said once this is done, Dominica will have a chance to secure better prices for exported produce on the regional market while providing better quality produce to customers. Lawrence said a similar workshop on post-harvest losses recently took place, citing such workshops as necessary.
We just want to ensure that whatever is being learned, it can be put into practice and it can be transferred to the other persons who are not here, because you could have a situation where you could have one exporter or one bad practice in the market and we could lose the entire market.
He said the loading of produce onto vessels to transport to various islands is also very important.
Importantly to this, we're going to have a follow-up visit by FAO with the consultant as to do an in-depth analysis of the post-harvest losses in Dominica. We are trying to do this in a period where we will have the 2 park houses operational. So we're looking more in the region of somewhere April to June, where we can have actual activity happening on each segment of the value chain, from the harvesting to the transportation to the park house operation, look at storage condition, and importantly look at the shipping line, the boats, the schooners, how it is transported to the market.
The multi-purpose pack houses are currently formulating a post-harvest loss strategy plan for Dominica. When 767 News returns, police search for missing woman and Kiwanis Club pilot Welcome Baby program. Stay with me for the details.
Some call it money transfer. We call it helping him hit his first ever 6. MoneyGram, bringing you closer.
Pay absolutely nothing down and nothing further until Easter this carnival at Courts. Yes, it's time to head down to Courts and get everything for your home today and pay absolutely nothing until Easter. Offer applies to credit purchases 24 months and over. Plus, we'll even give you a chance to trade in your old item for something brand new for a nice discount. Up to $400 off. We'll even haul away the old item when we deliver the new. You've got to rush down to Courts today and enjoy this carnival with nothing down and absolutely nothing to pay until Easter. Plus, trade in for a discount. Courts, bringing value home.
Thanks for staying with us. Efforts to curb the instances of reckless driving on the island are being taken seriously. Drivers, motorcycle and scooter riders are known to overtake on any side of the road, while inconsiderate bus drivers stop for passengers without adequate warning, causing accidents. Police Public Relations Officer ASP Claude Weeks said this is cause for concern for the police force.
Whether it's taking maybe the license, if not a faster rate, a faster pace, some kind of reviewing has to be done, and we cannot take off education as well. So the enforcement is critical, as well as the education, because we have to, if we continue on that trajectory, given our general behavior of driving, particularly these little scooter drivers moving around, especially in the capital. You can see it. In the capital, how they meander their way through and wave in front, behind the wrong vehicle. They're not bothered about people. This has to stop.
The police PRO said if all motorists observe traffic rules and regulations, there would be a significant reduction in the number of vehicular accidents on the island.
I think we have to get more reasonable and more aware of our surroundings and what is good for us. As motorists, as cyclists, as bus operators, taxi operators, I think we must hit the call and seek to understand, why am I driving? What is my purpose? It doesn't say because you have a driving license. All the time that you were learning to drive, you seemingly were doing the right thing. And you seem to have gotten through at the traffic division where you are tested. Is it that our testing should be a lot more rigid? So as I said, these things, that is how the law is. It's dynamic, and off and on it has to be reviewed so that it remains in line. Behavior seek to remain in line with respect to what the law dictates, what it seeks to shape the community.
ASP Weeks added all citizens are needed to develop the country, so motorists must exercise caution to avoid any accidents and/or fatalities. And several first-time mothers and fathers on Saturday, February 21st, attended a Welcome Baby program piloted by the Kiwanis Club of Roseau. The program is designed to equip first-time mothers with necessary information and skills to accomplish proper prenatal and maternal care. Dr. Martina Burton, who addressed the conference, said the overall objective is to attain healthy women and babies during pregnancy, childbirth, and the postpartum period.
Ultimately, this workshop will provide additional guidance to those who have had difficulty understanding the real concept of pregnancy and motherhood. The objective is to attain healthy women during pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum period. It includes a healthcare dimension, which includes family planning, preconception care, prenatal care, postnatal care, in order to reduce maternal morbidity and mortality.
According to Dr. Burton, this exercise is expected to reduce complications during pregnancy and result in healthy newborns. Dr. Ruby Blah, Hospital Medical Director, discussed the changes during pregnancy and the importance of ante- and postnatal care to the participants. She informed them of changes such as weight gain, breast enlargement, nausea and vomiting, swelling of the feet, diabetes, anemia, and several other complications that could occur during the process.
A pregnancy essentially lasts for 40 weeks, and that is worked out from the first day of your last normal menstrual period. And the ages are important because there are certain changes we expect as we progress at certain points, and most decisions we make as obstetricians are related to the age of the pregnancy.
Dr. Blah explained the need for antenatal visits, stating that it all depends on the risk that each individual poses during the pregnancy stage. The higher the risk, the more frequent the visits, she said.
Antenatal visits, very important. We don't recommend them just so that you spend money or visiting your doctor, or you have to take time off from work. It is very important because there are a lot of things that we look for during those visits to make sure the pregnancy is progressing properly. Now, the schedule of visits really change whether it's a high-risk or a low-risk pregnancy, and they've done a lot of studies to try to figure out what is the ideal number of visits that a pregnant woman should have. Really and truly, it's a decision that has to be made based on each individual, because every pregnancy is different, and so the number of visits you may need is going to vary from person to person.
Meanwhile, Carla Armo, who has been teaching exercise techniques since 1982, showed the ladies a few tips and tricks to help them during pregnancy.
What I want you to do is to put your hands on your ribs here Yeah? And take a nice deep breath. And take a nice deep exhale. Yeah, doesn't that feel nice? Not really? Okay, take a smaller breath. Take a breath and feel that your ribs have to move, right? Take a breath. The guys can do this too. It's really, yes. Yes. Very good. The guys can do this too. Inhale and exhale. What I have found has helped pretty much all of the ladies that I have worked with, it definitely helped me, is that because of the endorphins that you release during exercise, it actually helps to temper the mood swings and make you not so depressed or not such drastic swings.
The participants also engaged in a discussion on how to care for the newborn with Dr. Binta Lambert and received parenting tips from Oliver Wallace. In more news, police here are optimistic about finding a British woman who has been missing since Tuesday, February 17, 2015. In an interview with 767 News on Monday, Police Public Relations Officer ASP Claude Weeks said the woman identified as Eunice Stewart, better known as Titi, went missing in the Granby area.
On Carnival Tuesday, somewhere about 8 a.m., she left. And at the time of speaking to you, at the time of this report, she has not been found. In fact, she's of Dominican parentage. At the time, she was wearing a t-shirt and skirt. She had a lady's bag and a Bible. She is very slim from all reports and has dreadlocks, very long dreadlocks going way down below her back to her feet, very long, we were told. And she's brown in complexion. She had been living with her cousin, Mr. Charles Kazimi, at Granby. The person, someone said that she was seen, the last time that she was seen was somewhere around Wavin Berikwa, in the area up there. But up to this present time, she has not been found.
ASP Weeks said the police have been conducting searches for the missing 49-year-old. However, all attempts have so far been unsuccessful.
If anyone or group of people were to come across or see this lady, or given the brief description that we have given, if anyone were to come across her or see her, or you may just think that it might be insignificant, any piece of information that you have, but it is significant to the police, please contact the Granby Police Station or any police station or the nearest police station, and including the police headquarters, criminal investigations, in whatever way that the public can assist us in this regard. But look out for this lady, Eunice Stewart, and I'm sure the people, the community would be familiar, at least familiar with her.
The police public relations officer said the police will not be comfortable until Stewart is found. The Ladies in Sports is up next with Larry. Stay with us.
Introducing the Ashley Collection at Quartz. Quartz has joined with Ashley Furniture, the #1 selling home furnishings brand in America, to bring you the most extraordinary furniture selection at unbeatable prices. It's now easier than ever before to find that perfect furniture piece for your home. And what's more, you can add that special touch with the right accent piece from our range of designer accessories from Ashley. Create the perfect look for your home with the Ashley Collection at Quartz. Quartz, bringing value home. Visit the new Ashley Gallery at our Roseau store.
Count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash. For every $9 spent on Big 4, you get a raffle ticket to enter our weekly draws to win $4,000 cash every Thursday for 6 weeks. The more you spend, the more tickets you get, the better your chances of winning every Thursday. That's $24,000 in cash. So play Big 4, count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash, only from the Dominica National Lottery. Promotion starts from February 24th to April 2nd.
Good evening and welcome to 767 Sports. In tonight's coverage, we begin with table tennis. The sports division will host the 2015 Schools National Table Tennis Championships over a 4-day period beginning on Tuesday. Secondary Schools Table Tennis Championship will be held at the Goodwill Primary School on Tuesday 24th and Wednesday 25th February. Events will start at 2:30 p.m. on day 1 and 10 a.m. on day 2. Competition will take place at the under 14, under 16, and under 20 team levels and on an individual open singles basis. Primary Schools Table Tennis Championships will take place at the Goodwill Primary School on Thursday 26 and Friday 27 February from 10 a.m. daily in both team and open single events. In football, we go to Public Relations Office of the Dominica Football Association, DFA Gerald George, with the results of matches played in the National Leagues of the Dominica Football Association over the weekend.
In the Division 1 League on Friday, East Central hammered MV Maxano Bombers 7-2 at the Baffin State playing field. Richard Newton registered a hat-trick for East Central, with one each coming from Shane Serafin, Elton Mack, Ronaldo Lora, and Daniel Bernard. Jamie Parilo scored both goals for Bombers. On Saturday, Cupchis Barbershop Baffin State defeated All Sails 3-1. Dwight Frederick, Mervyn Libla, and Derrickson McDonald scored one each for Baffin State. Gabez Emmanuel scored for All Sails. While at the Dubla playing field, RC Doctors defeated Starrel and Son St. Joseph 4-2. Kerville Lawrence from the back of the nets twice for Doctors, with Alpha Lawrence and Rallison Pascal scoring one each. Asheville Hill got both goals for St. Joseph.
Meanwhile, in the Domlec Women's League, on Saturday, defending champions New India Goodwill Runners won by default over West Coast Jaguars, while on Sunday, title contenders Dive Dominica Harlem United were held to a 1-1 draw by Mao Soka Strikettes. Wood City Strikers failed to show up for their match against New Generation Sports Club, while there was no play in the Lime Premier League as Scotiabank Baffin State failed to show up for their match against Dubla Football Club. The match between Sagicor Southeast and Harlem United was called off as a result of transportation issues experienced by Southeast. In cricket, West Indies captain Jason Holder is confident that explosive opener Chris Gayle is close to finding his best form and will return to normality for West Indies at the Cricket World Cup. Gayle has made a slow start to the Cricket World Cup with scores of 36 and 4, following a poor string of performances in South Africa and 2 warm-up games. Despite that, West Indies have managed to make over 300 twice and win one of their 2 games to be placed second in Pool B. Holder hopes to see Gayle get back to his best when West Indies take on Zimbabwe on Tuesday. With Gayle and fellow opener Dwayne Smith struggling for runs, it has been left to the middle order to do the bulk of the scoring for West Indies. Holder said he would like to see the top order contribute more, but he has been happy with the team's batting performance so far. And in more cricket, Barbados Pride, on the back of a historical batting display by Captain Craig Bathwaite, set Guyana Jaguars 332 runs to win their 7th-round WICB Professional Cricket League regional 4-day match at Kensington Oval in Barbados. Brathwaite hit 112 to become the first batsman to score centuries in both innings of a regional match at Kensington Oval. The right-handed batsman, who scored 102 in the first innings, completed the historical achievement with a boundary through cover. He reached the milestone in just under 4.5 hours, in the process hitting 10 fours of 172 deliveries. Jaguars went about their run chase and closed the day on 41 without loss. Scores so far: Pride 312 and 241 for 6 declared, Jaguars 221 and 41 without loss. And that's it for tonight's sportscast. Tune in again tomorrow for more sports news.
Oh, many thanks to Larry for the sports report. Now for a recap of tonight's headlines. Bill to change the name Carib Reserve to Kalinago Territory approved by Parliament. Amended National Parks and Protected Areas Act to facilitate construction of luxury hotel. Police search for missing Grand Bay woman. And in sports, National Table Tennis Championship to begin this week. And that's all the time we have for tonight. Join us again tomorrow for another newscast. Until then, drop us an email at media@767news.dm, friend us on Facebook, and be sure to like our 767 News page. From all of us here on the 767 News production team, I am Tanya Green. Thank you for watching.